Hi, and welcome back to the Road to 40. I'm your host, Jason Oliveira, in case you haven't picked up on that by now. I think it's time to say goodbye to the lovely Lady Locks. I just get to this point where I'm looking in the mirror, and I'm always pulling them back in a ponytail, and every time I take the ponytail out, just tons of hair comes with it. I'm like, you know what? I'm just tired of it. I love it. Maybe if I went a little shorter, it'd be different, but I think I just want to go. When I can't just cut my hair a little bit. There's always got to be an extreme to it, and I usually shave at the same time and do a bunch of things. But I know a bunch of people, personally, very personally, well, not very personally, but personally, that cut hair. Sarah Castanis, who's in Lynchburg here, she just graduated from cosmetology school, for cutting hair. I think that's all in one. I don't know. She cut Carol's hair when her hair was super freaking long, and now it's super short. Or, yeah, I'd say super short. My friend Dana, who now plays in Significant Others, he plays keyboard. He's professionally cut hair for a very long time. I don't think he's doing it at the moment. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. But I'm sure he would do it. I could be like, hey, can you cut my hair? I'm sure he'd do it. Or, and this is the way I'm leaning right now. My friend Xander. I've talked about him a few times. He's been in a few movies. Actually, I'm going to pull my hair back now because it's just driving me crazy. Don't look at my stained armpit t-shirts, please. Just, please. He does hair and makeup for movies. And I've seen a lot of the stuff that he's done, and it just looks really good. And I was thinking it would be nice to kill two birds with one stone. I've been talking about having him on here for a while. We've kind of talked about it at work, where at the store that we work at, and he said he'd do it. So I thought, well, what if we did a hair cutting session of the Road to 40? I don't know. I think it might be kind of fun. And he could showcase his talent as an artist. And, just have that, we can have a really good discussion that night. I don't know. What do you think? I'm probably going to do it anyway, no matter what you think. What's on the menu tonight? We're not going to do the review yet, but I went with one of these other chips. This is the Wavy Mango Salsa by Lay's. This is one of the 4 flavors that are up for grabs this year. This is the only other one that really kind of stood out to me as like, okay, that's probably pretty good. The rest of them, the other 2, I should say. So we'll do that in a following video this evening. Also on the menu tonight, which I've already reviewed, or just want to eat, cadoozles. Very delicious. They satisfy the gummy and sour sensation that I so crave at night. And a Fast Break by Reese's. Huge fan of these. This is my favorite form of Reese's. I said it. I'm going out on a limb. Out of all the different Reese's products, Reese's Pieces, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, all the different flavored peanut butter cups. The Inside Out peanut butter cups are the best. These are a close second, though. There's something about the texture of these that just, I can feel it in my jaw. When I was putting the boys down just a few minutes ago, I said, guys, you gotta be quiet. And then Griffin looked at me and said, I'll try to be quiet. And of course, my first reaction was, try not. Do or do not. There is no try. And he looked at me like, what the hell are you talking about? And he said, I'll try. Like he was getting mad at me. And I said, try not. Do or do not. There is no try. And then he started laughing because he caught on that I was being silly with him. I'm going to have to grind some Star Wars into those boys' heads. I might have to get one of those chairs from the Clockwork Orange where they strap the eyes open and force you to watch certain programming for a certain amount of time. That's horrible. I would never do that. So, here's my question tonight. This is my own question. If I was writing a book of questions, this would be high up on that list of good questions to ask. Are cell phones and social media improving or ruining our lives? Or are they just evolving how we exist as a community and or society? What do you think of that? I talked to my friend Corey about this once, and he was all for it at the time. And I think he's the opposite now because he never really uses social media. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, and Twitter I never see him on. Instagram every now and again, very rare, and Facebook even is like lately he's been a little more active. But when I first talked to him about it, he thought it was a great idea. The idea of social media and especially having cell phones in our pockets that can handle it. And I disagreed at the time because I thought, here's my thing. It's an easy way out. Like, it's almost like if I don't want to talk to you, if I don't want to have any communication with you, if I just want to just be in my own little world right now because of my social anxiety disorder, then I can just turn my cell phone on and then just pretend I'm doing something or do something. Even when I got to the top of Flat Top yesterday, though, the first thought I had was, oh, I gotta get my phone out, I gotta tweet this, or I gotta post some pictures on Facebook, or I gotta do this, that, and the other. And I'm like, oh my god, there's literally hundreds of miles within sight from where I'm sitting right now. Just hundreds of miles. Just beautiful Virginia forests and mountains as far as the eye can see in any visible direction. And I'm on my cell phone taking pictures of myself in the silhouette of the sun, or silhouetted by the sun. I thought that's when it kind of hit me a little bit. I was just like, if I didn't have a cell phone, if I had left the cell phone in the car even, like, I could have enjoyed that moment more. I mean, I became aware of it and I allowed myself to enjoy it. But it goes to show you how easily, like, this has become a part of us now. And I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing. I'm just saying that, like, it's evolved. It's gotten to the point where before, first of all, smartphones, when the iPhone, I believe that was the first one that came out, there was a smartphone. Like, it was mind-boggling how amazing that phone was. It was leaps and bounds over what existed at the time. And I think that's the things that you really notice when you look back in history. Like, if you're looking at technologies and the way it advanced, that will stand out as a huge, not just cell phones, iPhone will definitely. I'll give them credit where credit's due. I'm not a big iPhone or an Apple fan, or a Mac fan, or whatever it is. Ah, yes. My friend Sean here just said you need to do a review of the Samsung Galaxy S5. It's didn't get shipped. Well, it got shipped, but late. So it's supposed to be here Wednesday. And if I have that motherfucker Wednesday, oh, we'll be playing around with that. I probably will be like this the whole time. Actually, what I've been thinking about doing is, when I get it, doing the first video in 4K. It films in 4K. Only problem is there's not image stabilization for 4K, and you gotta have a really decent micro SD card that can handle the read and write speeds of 4K. And from what I understand, it was like a gig a minute or something like that. I couldn't imagine one of these. Look at, we're at 8 minutes. This would be an 8 gig. That's a huge file. Files are getting bigger. That's why I think it's nice that hard drives and storage is so cheap. Anywho, yes, I will do a review of that, certainly, definitely. I think it's going to be a good phone, from everything I've watched and read on the internet. Like, it's so weird. Like, here's another example of this. Like, when I was thinking about doing the Galaxy S5, I was looking on YouTube for videos. I did look at CNET too, because they do post a video usually, and they gave it a pretty good review. So it seems like it's a no-brainer. It's not going to be a bad phone. It's not like I'm going to get it and be like, this is the worst phone ever. Maybe I'll use the features that I hadn't had on the Droid Razr X. Maybe I won't. We'll figure that out after I get it. Anywho, yeah. So I feel like now it's a curse and a blessing, social media and cell phones, because I can't help it. I'm in the car and I hear the dude abides, and I'm like, okay, gotta grab my phone, see what it is. Like, I don't know how many times I've texted and driven and realized I was doing it and being like, what are you doing? People die because they're not paying attention. I've never gotten myself in a position where I was just like, oh shit, I gotta hit my brakes or something like that. But I feel like it's a bad idea. So I think for that aspect, I almost feel like your cell phone, like your car won't start. Like these should be the keys to our cars in the future, where they program something into our smartphones, so that if it's not sitting in a dock, the car won't run or something like that. I don't know, because I don't think it's safe to, and it gets them out of your pockets too. Because cancer, my friends, cancer. I also feel like I said, it's an easy way out when you're feeling lazy. I don't know how to say this. Like, you know how like you're social with people. You go out, you get drinks, you sit down to eat. Not like I do this, but like there's that interactivity, the connectivity between two humans. I remember growing up, before we all had cell phones, we'd all come to my house. We'd all hang out. We'd all play D&D. We'd all sit around and smoke pot all day. we'd play games. We'd talk to each other. We'd cook food together. We would travel together in a pack somewhere, or in small groups to different locations. Now, though, I could see if that same life I had then had smartphone technology with social media, every night would have been like everybody sitting in a circle just doing this. Or not everybody, but a good chunk of us. Like, I know they would. I know we would. I'll admit it. I probably would too. And that's disappointing. Like, I can think of a few examples. I'm not going to say them right now, but like, there have been times where I felt like I was the one being like excluded because of it. Like, a lot of times if I'm hanging out with people, I try to leave my phone in my pocket no matter what. Like, I don't care if it's ringing or whatever. Like, I'll check to make sure it's not like an emergency. But like at practice, I won't take it out of my pocket usually, just to check time. Or record if we're just recording an idea or something like that. But for that part of it, the social interactivity, the connectivity between humans and that community slash like society type link is going away because of that. I mean, I think about coffee shops. Like, I remember I'd go with my like uncle to Honeydew, would sit and get a donut and have a coffee, and he'd know like 6 out of 7 guys in there, and they'd be talking across the store, interacting socially on a live level. I remember it clearly. I remember going to the barber shop with him all the time. He'd hang out there, or he could sit in there and smoke butts. I mean, this was old school barber shop we used to hang out in, and sometimes he'd get his hair cut. One time he got me a beezer. Oh, awful. I've always liked having long hair, but now is the time where I just gotta get rid of this massive mane. Did I mention that I almost had to fight a giant black bear yesterday? Oh, I didn't. You know, the more and more I watched a bunch of black bear videos of like people who have run into them in the wild, and in every instance that I saw, the black bear would do what's called a mock charge, I think it's called, where he just fakes it. It's like a bluff charge, and like he'll stop like within a few feet of you just to see what you're gonna do. And if you stand your ground, make yourself look big, or keep talking to the bear, then they're just kind of interested. They're like, why are you in my backyard? What are you doing here? Like, that's about all they're up against. You know, they're just like, if you turned around and there was a stranger in your house, or a bear, you'd probably be like, you don't belong here. Well, maybe not to a bear, but like just a neighbor just walked in and started like pouring himself a drink. You'd be like, what are you doing? That's kind of, I think, what the bears do. So of course I was nervous. Anybody's going to be nervous. Even all the videos I watched of people who knew what they were doing, and kind of like, there was a woman who, there was a bear in her backyard, so she just went right out there within like 4 feet of this thing, and he was just eating the acorns off of the ground. And the minute she didn't want him around, she just raised her arms and said, get out of my yard. And it took off like it was like a dog or something like that. But it would come back a little bit and be like, you mean that? You're in my yard. And she'd do it again or whatever. So I think black bears are given a bad rap because they're bears and they can kill you if they want to. But I don't think that's their goal in life. I think they just want to live out in the woods and shit in the woods and get honey. and sing little songs with their other woodland creature friends. I don't know. So social media, cell phones, they're awesome. It allows us to have all these applications that we can use as though it's a computer in our pocket. So many great features and stuff like that. But the social media aspect of cell phones, which is the whole purpose. I mean, I rarely make calls. I text or I Facebook or whatever. I feel like that is degrading our society. Like, I don't think it's wrong to have cell phones. I don't think it's wrong to have social media. I think they're wonderful. We allow ourselves to share our lives with other people, close friends. You become closer friends and stuff like that with people. I think it's a great thing. I don't think it's bad. I don't think social media is bad by any means. I mean, look at this. This is a video that's on YouTube. This is a part of social media, that community. And so because of that, like, I feel like it does play its part really well. Sorry, itchy ankle. All these bugs and mosquitoes and so yeah, it definitely serves a purpose, and it's a great thing. But I think it's like all technological advances. We have to be careful with what we do with them. I don't know. That's just my thought on the matter. I'll be back in just a few minutes. I'm going to do a review of the wavy mango salsa, and I'm going to enjoy some other treats. Probably not on camera, but you guys have a great night. If you're loving these, please subscribe. If you know anybody else who might like these, pass them along to them. If they're 39, perfect. We might make a connection. Don't forget to make somebody smile today. Make somebody's day awesome tomorrow. Make yourself a better person tomorrow than you were today, tomorrow. And let's together make this world spin a little bit happier. I'm Jason Oliveira. This is the Road to 40, and I hope you guys had a wonderful ride tonight. See you guys tomorrow.